1. Who succeeded Moses as the leader of the Israelites and led them into the promised land in the book of Joshua? A. Samuel. B. Joshua. C. Gideon. D. Caleb. Right answer is B. Joshua. Joshua succeeded Moses as the leader of the Israelites and led them into the promised land. Joshua chapter 1 verse 1-2. After the death of Moses the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to the children of Israel. 2. What miraculous event occurred at the city of Jericho in the book of Joshua? A. Earthquake. B. Fire from heaven. C. Walls fell after marching around them. D. Plague of locusts. Right answer is C. Walls fell after marching around them. In the book of Joshua, the walls of Jericho fell after the Israelites marched around them. Joshua chapter 6 verse 20. So the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets. And it happened when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Then the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. 3. What river did the Israelites cross to enter the promised land in the book of Joshua? A. Euphrates. B. Jordan. C. Nile. D. Tigris. Right answer is B. Jordan. The Israelites crossed the Jordan River to enter the promised land. Joshua chapter 3 verse 17. Then the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan. And all Israel crossed over on dry ground, until all the people had crossed completely over the Jordan. 4. How did the Israelites commemorate the crossing of the Jordan River in the book of Joshua? A. Building a tower. B. Erecting a monument of stones. C. Observing a feast. D. Offering sacrifices. Right answer is C. Observing a feast. The Israelites commemorated the crossing of the Jordan River by observing a feast. Joshua chapter 4 verses 19-20. Now the people came up from the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and they camped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan, Joshua set up in Gilgal. 5. What significant event took place at Gilgal in the book of Joshua? A. The defeat of Goliath. B. The circumcision of the Israelites. C. The anointing of David as king. D. The building of Solomon's temple. Right answer is B. The circumcision of the Israelites. At Gilgal, the Israelites were circumcised as a sign of their covenant with God. Joshua chapter 5 verses 2-3. At that time the Lord said to Joshua, Make flint knives for yourself, and circumcise the sons of Israel again the second time. 6. Who was the commander of the army of the Lord that appeared to Joshua near Jericho? A. Michael the archangel. B. Moses. C. An angelic messenger. D. The pre-incarnate Christ. Right answer is D. The pre-incarnate Christ. The commander of the army of the Lord that appeared to Joshua near Jericho is traditionally understood to be the pre-incarnate Christ. Joshua chapter 5 verse 14, so he said, "No, but as commander of the army of the Lord I have now come." And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshipped, and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" 7. How did the walls of Jericho fall according to the book of Joshua? A. Earthquake. B. Fire from heaven. C. They collapsed inward. D. The Israelites shouted and the walls fell. Right answer is D. The Israelites shouted and the walls fell. According to the book of Joshua, the walls of Jericho fell when the Israelites shouted. Joshua chapter 6 verse 20, so the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets. And it happened when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Then the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. 8. What did Rahab, the harlot of Jericho, do to protect the Israelite spies in the book of Joshua? A. Betrayed them to the king of Jericho. B. Hid them on her roof. C. Helped them escape the city. D. Pretended not to know them. Right answer is C. Helped them escape the city. Rahab helped the Israelite spies escape the city of Jericho. Joshua chapter 2 verses 6 to 7. But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order on the roof. Then the men pursued them by the road to the Jordan, to the fords. And as soon as those who pursued them had gone out, they shut the gate. 9. What did the Israelites take from the city of Jericho after its fall, as instructed by Joshua? A. Gold and silver. B. Livestock. C. Garments. D. All of the above. Right answer is D. All of the above. After the fall of Jericho, the Israelites took gold and silver, livestock, and garments as instructed by Joshua. Joshua chapter 6 verse 19. But all the silver and gold, and vessels of bronze and iron, are consecrated to the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. 10. What sin committed by one individual led to the defeat of the Israelites at the city of Ai in the book of Joshua? A. Theft. B. Idolatry. C. Murder. D. Disobedience in taking devoted things. Right answer is D. Disobedience in taking devoted things. The defeat at Ai was due to disobedience in taking devoted things. Joshua chapter 7 verses 1, 11. But the children of Israel committed a trespass regarding the accursed things, for Achan took of the accursed things. So the anger of the Lord burned against the children of Israel. 11. How was the city of Ai ultimately captured by the Israelites in the book of Joshua? A. By a surprise attack at night. B. By a direct assault on the walls. C. By setting a trap for the inhabitants. D. By drawing the defenders out of the city. Right answer is D. By drawing the defenders out of the city. The city of Ai was captured by drawing the defenders out of the city, leaving it vulnerable to attack. Joshua chapter 8 verse 14. So it was, when the king of Ai saw it, that the men of the city hurried and rose early and went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at an appointed place before the plain. But he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. 12. What significant ceremony did Joshua conduct at Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim in the book of Joshua? A coronation. B. Covenant renewal and blessings. C. A sacrifice. D. A victory celebration. Right answer is B. Covenant renewal and blessings. Joshua conducted a ceremony of covenant renewal and blessings at Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. Joshua chapter 8 verses 30 to 35. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessings and the cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses had commanded which Joshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, with the women, the little ones, and the strangers who were living among them. 13. How did the Gibeonites deceive the Israelites in the book of Joshua? A. By pretending to be merchants from a distant land. B. By disguising themselves as priests. C. By offering false gifts. D. By wearing worn-out clothes and carrying old provisions. Right answer is D. By wearing worn-out clothes and carrying old provisions. The Gibeonites deceived the Israelites by wearing worn-out clothes and carrying old provisions, pretending to come from a distant land. Joshua chapter 9 verses 4 to 5. They worked craftily, and went and pretended to be ambassadors. And they took old sacks on their donkeys, old wineskins torn and mended, old and patched sandals on their feet, and old garments on themselves. And all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. 14. What oath did Joshua and the leaders of Israel make to the Gibeonites, not realizing they had been deceived? A. An alliance of mutual defense. B. Non-aggression and protection. C. A covenant of peace. D. Tribute and tribute-bearer status. Right answer is C. A covenant of peace. Joshua and the leaders of Israel made a covenant of peace with the Gibeonites, not realizing they had been deceived. Joshua chapter 9 verse 15. So Joshua made peace with them, and made a covenant with them to let them live, and the rulers of the congregation swore to them. 15. How did the other Canaanite kings react when they learned about the alliance between the Israelites and the Gibeonites in the book of Joshua? A. They attacked Gibeon in retaliation. B. They sought peace with the Israelites. C. They formed a coalition against Gibeon. D. They ignored the alliance. Right answer is A. They attacked Gibeon in retaliation. The other Canaanite kings attacked Gibeon in retaliation for forming an alliance with the Israelites. Joshua chapter 10 verse 4. Come up to me and help me, that we may attack Gibeon, for it has made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. 16. During a battle against the Amorites, what extraordinary event occurred involving the sun and the moon in the book of Joshua? A. A solar eclipse. B. The sun stood still. C. The moon turned blood red. D. A meteor shower. Right answer is B. The sun stood still. During a battle against the Amorites, the sun stood still, allowing the Israelites to achieve victory. Joshua chapter 10 verses 12 to 14. Then Joshua spoke to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and moon, in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the people had revenge upon their enemies. 17. What did Joshua command to be done to the 5 Amorite kings after their defeat in the book of Joshua? A. They were released without harm. B. They were imprisoned. C. They were executed and hanged on trees. D. They were banished from the land. Right answer is C. They were executed and hanged on trees. Joshua commanded that the 5 Amorite kings be executed and hanged on trees after their defeat. Joshua chapter 10 verse 26, and afterward Joshua struck them and killed them, and hanged them on 5 trees, and they were hanging on the trees until evening. 18. What city did Joshua capture and burn with fire after a long siege in the book of Joshua? A. Jerusalem. B. Jericho. C. Ai. D. Hazor. Right answer is D. Hazor. Joshua captured and burned the city of Hazor with fire after a long siege. Joshua chapter 11 verse 13. But as for the cities that stood on their mounds, Israel burned none of them, except Hazor only, which Joshua burned. 19. Which 2 tribes and a half-tribe received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan River in the book of Joshua? A. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. B. Judah, Simeon, and Levi. C. Ephraim, Benjamin, and Dan. D. Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Right answer is A. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan River. Joshua chapter 13 verse 8-9. With the other half-tribe the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moses had given them, beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses the servant of the Lord had given them. 20. What did Joshua exhort the Israelites to do in his farewell address recorded in the book of Joshua? A. Conquer new territories. B. Establish a monarchy. C. Worship foreign gods. D. Observe God's commandments. Right answer is D. Observe God's commandments. In his farewell address, Joshua exhorted the Israelites to observe God's commandments. Joshua chapter 23 verse 6. Therefore be very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, lest you turn aside from it to the right hand or to the left. 21. What significant event took place at Shechem during Joshua's later years, as recorded in the book of Joshua? A. Joshua's defeat in battle. B. Joshua's burial. C. Renewal of the covenant with God. D. Establishment of a new capital. Right answer is C. Renewal of the covenant with God. At Shechem, there was a renewal of the covenant with God during Joshua's later years. Joshua chapter 24 verses 25 to 26. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and made for them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God. 22. What was the age of Joshua at the time of his death, according to the book of Joshua? A. 80 years. B. 90 years. C. 100 years. D. 110 years. answer is D. 110 years. Joshua was 110 years old at the time of his death. Joshua chapter 24 verse 29. Now it came to pass after these things that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. 23. Where was Joshua buried after his death in the book of Joshua? A. Jericho. B. Mount Nebo. C. Gilgal. D. Shechem. Right answer is A. Jericho. Joshua was buried in the territory of Jericho. Joshua chapter 24 verse 30. They buried him in the border of his inheritance at Timnath-Serah, which is in the mountains of Ephraim, on the north side of Mount Gash. 24. What did the Israelites do with the bones of Joseph in the book of Joshua? A. Buried them in a tomb. B. Cremated them. C. Carried them to the promised land. D. Placed them in a stone coffin. Right answer is C. Carried them to the promised land. The Israelites carried the bones of Joseph with them to the promised land. Joshua chapter 24 verse 32. The bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel had brought up out of Egypt, they buried at Shechem, in the plot of ground which Jacob had bought from the sons of Hamor the father of Shechem for 100 pieces of silver, and which had become an inheritance of the children of Joseph. 25. What did the Israelites set up as a memorial at the Jordan River in the book of Joshua? A. A stone pillar. B. A bronze statue. C. An altar. D. 12 stones. Right answer is D. 12 stones. The Israelites set up 12 stones as a memorial at the Jordan River. Joshua chapter 4 verses 5 to 7. And Joshua said to them, Cross over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan. And each one of you take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you when your children ask in time to come, saying, What do these stones mean to you? Then you shall answer them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. And these stones shall be for a memorial to the children of Israel forever.